Did a podcast 10 from space, from
Take
the future.
two.
Take two. I messed up, everyone. You'll never know because I'm going to delete it right now, but I was adamant about watching our language on this podcast, and then I broke it 4 seconds into it.
Oops.
Anyways, today we're talking about
Goose.
dating in the 21st century. I'm here, David. I'll be like the moderator today. We have Frank, Franklin,
Hello.
who you all, internet darling. We also have Danny, our good friend Danny B, who's been here before.
Hello.
Hello, Danny was just talking about hot dogs right now. And then we have our new guest,
about them, that's for sure.
all the way from the Northeast, but not like Northeast El Paso, like Northeast of the country. Kelly, hello.
New Hampshire.
Not New Hampshire.
All the way from New
Connecticut.
Jersey, we have Kelly.
All the way from
Mexican, that's
Vermont.
That's it.
Oh my gosh.
All the way from Vermont.
Well, everyone, this probably should have been on
Bernie
Valentine's
Sanders,
Day, but there was
Kelly.
not time. Bernie Sanders? That's, no, that is Vermont.
Let's not go there.
I can't
Too
do a
soon.
Bernie Sanders impression. I don't want to ruin it.
Nope.
I was going to
The
attempt
friend.
one. Set me up for a Trump one later, and we'll do that.
Mhm.
Well, y'all, I wanted to start some things off with just a simple question, just so we can get an idea what's
Okay.
going on here. Because today we're talking about
Well, it
dating.
better be simple, David.
It is real simple, and we'll go. I don't know who we'll start with. You guys can decide. But I just want to know, when you were a little kid, when you were like 12, what was your dream for the future? You know what I mean, like relationship wise. Did you have like an idea of where you were going to be at when you were older?
Relationship.
Because like for me, I thought that I was going to be like married and with a child when I was like 23, which is like insane,
Not
completely
wrong.
insane. It's like half right, more or less, but. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Danny said something. Why don't you start off, man? What do you think? Did you have something like this, or was I just crazy? Was I just like a weird kid?
I thought I was never gonna get married, and I still am not married, so I think it's going well so far.
Oh, nice.
And
That's called sticking to commitments, everyone. That's a good thing.
I know, right? I knew I was gonna be lonely and sad for the rest of my life. Here I am,
Oh, that's
sticking to things.
That sounds
Gotta
real
stick
sad.
to your guns.
Stick to my gun. I have a dog, and that's all I need. No, I'm just kidding.
An adorable dog that he keeps showing us.
She is beautiful. So I don't know if I had any aspirations at 12 years old, but I think I know what you mean, like right around there.
Yeah, you know what I
And,
mean. Like
like-
you're planning your life out. You're trying to think about, what will my future?
I think
look
I
like?
would like have a family by like, I don't know. I always thought I'd have a family but never be married. Does that make sense?
Interesting. That makes perfect sense for you.
Yeah. I just don't want to get married. I don't know, maybe someday. Anyways, that was like... I pictured like around 30 to 35, like having like something like that stable.
Some little Dannies running around.
That'll happen. It's probably already happening.
Some little thick-fingered Hawaiian Mexican kids.
You know what's funny is I'm not actually Hawaiian.
You're just born there, right? But you're not like.
I'm
a
pretty
Hawaiian
sure you were
descent.
born on a pineapple plantation, dude.
Well, I was born there, yes, but it's I actually found out through our heritage thing that I'm part Filipino, part Puerto Rican, part Portuguese, and Hispanic, and Mexican Native American, yeah, Mexican Native American, and Mexican,
Nice.
but
Interesting.
not Hawaiian.
all of those except for the place you were born
Yeah.
at. How weird. The universe is strange in its ways. Well, let's pass the imaginary tiki torch to Kelly. What about you? Did you ever think about this kind of thing?
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of girls would be like planning their wedding sort of thing, but
Yeah,
I didn't really
yeah.
do that too much. I had like the biggest crush on this kid in my class, and like we were like too young to be dating, but like we'd like hold hands and just do like cute shit like that. We didn't even kiss or anything. But I always like imagined us like having a house in our hometown with like a bunch of kids and like, white picket fence at
Little
age
tire
13.
swinging from a tree.
At age 15?
Yeah. 13. No, 13.
13. Oh my gosh. Okay. That could have been a
So-
reality in like the 1600s, though. You know what I mean?
Right?
Eesh.
But yeah, no. It didn't go good. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't think anyone's like middle school crush went well. Well, maybe a couple people.
I think a follow-up could probably be like, what age do you consider your first actual relationship?
Ooh, that's a really good question, dude.
Yeah,
That question has changed for me as I've gotten older. Things
Right.
seem less important for sure. Whereas at the time
yeah.
they seemed like super huge and like monumental. But maybe it's also just like not rose colored, the opposite of rose colored glasses.
Mm-hmm. Looking back.
Fart-colored lenses.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle's telling me the video game music is loud. I need to turn that down, which I actually should have done earlier. See, because we're not even playing it.
Oh,
I
is
just
she
put Lovers in
listening
a
on
Dangerous Space
YouTube?
Time on because it just seemed like the most. Yeah, Michelle, everyone is now like our EP, our executive producer. She's just checking us
Oh,
out.
she's like your QA
Woo!
guy.
Yeah, she's
Girl.
just making
Yeah, she
sure
saves
that we're
us
not
from
messing
being
this
real
thing up.
dumb.
She also gave us all the
Hey,
awesome new logo stuff that we used on the last video, but unfortunately,
Nice.
I want to get a capture card for streams and stuff, but until then, we can't do that. Well, Frank, before we move on to this next one, what about you, man? Did you have any visions for the future as a young Franklin?
Well, I'm from a big family, so I definitely thought, like, especially back then, I would just have, like, a couple kids, probably, like, 3, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Some wife that I dug a lot. Be all happy and stuff. But, I don't know. Things change. Life happens.
Yeah, isn't that
Things
true?
evolve.
It's often
Big
tiring.
time.
Sorry, Michelle's telling me one more thing. Yeah, I mean here's the reason why I asked this question actually, because I was looking at some stuff before we started this thing about how as millennials we have the lowest marriage rate in a long time, and there was even something
That's
a
a
couple
good
weeks
thing.
ago that said if
We did it,
keep,
guys.
if we keep going down in birth rates, we're actually gonna like put the net into negative pretty soon in the next couple of
Sick.
years, where it'll be like
Yes.
Nice. Good work.
part of me thinks though that that's actually kind of like a nature thing.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
so much a
look at it. Maybe
generational
it's like a
thing.
reaction to like this whole baby boomer thing,
Yeah, I can see that.
There's
And you
just
know
an
what?
excess
Actually,
of people.
I got the numbers about that too, Danny. In the baby boomers, they had a 91% marriage rate. Like 9 out of 10 people were
Jesus.
getting married. Millennials, they're on their way to being 70%. And they say that like
That's still pretty
25% of
high.
us won't even
Hey,
marry
that's a
at
passing
all.
grade, yo.
D's
I
get
think-
degrees.
D's don't get degrees. Sorry. What were we saying, Kelly?
I'm sorry. I think it also has a lot to do with the fact that we have a lot of people who are bisexual and gays. So
Mhm.
that
No,
could
that's
also
true.
be part of it because they can't all get married in certain states.
Yeah, that's
well,
true.
you can actually be federally married now.
Yeah, that's true. You can overstep that and
good.
do some federal stuff.
Okay, cool.
But there's also, I
You
mean,
get super married.
when you get into like trans stuff, it really changes the identity of what being married is like. That's like a
Yeah,
different-
and polyamorous and all these
yeah,
different lifestyles.
it's so much bigger than for baby boomers when it was just like, all right, let's just get married because that's what we got to do right now.
Get your best Sally, grab her by the hand,
Yeah.
and do the twist.
For baby boomers, women on average got married when they were 20, and men got
Jesus.
married on average when they were 23. So it almost like the idea that maybe some of us had in our head of like the white picket fence thing. That's what it's from. It's from like culture
Well,
from
and-
the 60s, like Leave It to Beaver and stuff like that.
Some of it is still around. Like I'm still finishing up at a Christian college. It's like a primarily Christian Methodist college.
Yeah.
So like all of my friends, I'd say that I've met there, about a good 60 to 70% of them like got engaged in their last quarter of school and then got married within a month of graduating.
Oh
I think.
wow, that's
Yep.
pretty punk rock. That's
Not
a
at all.
lot to have to worry about, like graduating and like getting married. Oh,
Yeah, and it's been like the
seems like
goal.
a whole lot of life.
It's super weird. They have
All at one time.
they had a saying in my school. It's like ring by spring, in that you go in by fall. That obviously, if you have a girlfriend by fall, you're gonna have a ring by spring at least.
Oh heyo,
Wow.
wow, that's interesting. And maybe is that normal in Seattle, or do you think it's more of
No.
a religious aspect to it?
It's a religious thing. That's a Methodist thing, or just like it's like a church kid thing. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I think that
You
is
gotta
kind of true. Though.
multiply.
I've
You gotta
noticed
grow
that.
the flock.
Yeah. Well, they have
Gotta
more
make that
traditional
fun.
values and they do it in a more traditional way. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
that has part to do with it, but um
Also,
all
they're
right.
like 20 or 21, just throwing their lives away, in my opinion. Anyway,
Well, let's
Any
just like
oozers?
turn away from wholesomeness and just jump straight into Tinder, Danny. I wanted to
Great.
start with Danny, and then I kind of wanted to get Kelly's contrast, and then for the viewers who maybe have checked this out before who have no idea what's going on, like Frank's got a unique situation right now, but I have no experience with any of this. Like I stopped dating in like 2009, so I don't even think Tinder was around. I don't think so, anyways.
No, it
Um,
wasn't.
but walk us through it, Danny. What is signing up for Tinder like? Do they ask you a lot of questions? Or a lot of requirements? Like what did you
Not a
discover
lot.
early on?
I feel like there was more requirements when it first came out, and then like I mean, obviously, like being pretty on and off single and in relationships, like I've been on it quite a bit here and there, and then now every time I sign up again, I mean, it like knows me, so it'll just link with your Facebook now.
Oh,
Just
interesting.
you
That makes
choose
sense.
how much, yeah, you choose how much information you want to put on there, or you don't want to put on there, and it's you want me to talk about the setup?
Well, maybe just a little bit.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't even know. Can you search for people on Tinder? Is it just all random
No,
and you just swipe? Like,
it's just random.
interesting. Okay.
It's based off of your area. You set like a little perimeter, like 50 miles, 25, or 10 miles, or 5 miles
Yeah.
within
I
a
figured that.
radius.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, you can put as much or as little information as you want. You can connect your Instagram, and little photos show up at the bottom of your Instagram, which I personally think is weird. But
That is
yeah,
weird.
I just don't understand why girls do that. Yeah, why
That's
you would
strange.
link. But and it's funny. It's another thing about it is like on their Tinder profiles, like girls will, from my experience, because I only see it from one side, is girls like will have links to their Snapchat and their Instagram like on their Tinder profile, but it's like that's probably not the best way, because I mean I'm assuming that they get flooded, you know.
Oh,
But like,
interesting. Yeah.
but yeah,
Like
you
it's a
probably got
bad
like that's
to
you're
move.
opening yourself to like
They're getting
a
some
scary situation. Yeah.
a bunch of inappropriate pictures for sure.
But people
Um,
do things for the followers. It's really weird, man.
that is weird. That's kind of like that's culture now, though. I think for sure. Well, I don't know. What do you think, Kelly? As far as like what girl like, do you see a lot of people do that? Do you do that? If that's not too
I see a lot of guys do that. They'll have their
interesting.
Instagram
Okay.
and their Snapchats. So I know that some of the settings are a bit different, but you can like I have all of my stuff as private. So if some, but I do have my pictures like in my thing, I believe. At least I used to, because I've been kind of not using online dating lately. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I only use two. We're specifically talking about Tinder right now.
Well,
the
I
only
mean,
other
yeah,
one
whatever.
I really use.
Do you use another one more? Or, like, it doesn't have to be specifically Tinder.
Yeah, I had the best luck on OkCupid actually,
Hell
and
yeah.
yeah, I really like that app. Tinder, I only use Tinder because I was getting the same people on OkCupid. Tinder definitely has like the biggest like
Oh, so many
following.
people. Yeah.
So
Oh,
many people are on
interesting.
it. So
Okay.
so you have more of like a plentiful crop, you know, like to choose from.
Plentiful
Good choice
crop.
of words.
Kelly's just hard 1600s right now. Is OkCupid? Do you both think OkCupid's way better or what? Like, is it a
In
better
some
experience?
respects,
Hmm.
I think like. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that Tinder's more for like hookups, and OkCupid's more for something like a serious relationship. Like my
See-
last serious relationship I got from my first date ever on online dating apps or anything, and it was OkCupid, and we ended up having like a really like good relationship. So,
See, on my experience with both, it's like, yes, I have met more people through OkCupid. I mean, I meet a lot of people through Tinder, but they never go anywhere. Like, it's usually like 1 or 2 days of talking, and then it's just nothing. But with OkCupid, I've met people who end up being my friends after we go out on a date or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, and then like, you just get to know more about people through OkCupid because it asks
Oh, yeah.
a lot of questions.
Interesting. What kind of
and then
questions
there's,
does it
like-
ask? Do you guys remember any of them?
Yeah,
open
there's
it.
like, there's like your personal life, there's like your sex life, there's like things you're into, there's like philosophical questions that you can or can't answer if you want.
Huh.
And then it matches you, and it shows you like your percentage match with someone, like when you swipe through it and stuff.
Very interesting. So you're more likely to get
Yeah.
someone through like very similar personal interests. That's cool.
Yeah, like I've met really good people through OkCupid, rather than through Tinder. Like I've gone on dates and been like, I don't know.
Okay. But Tinder
Kinda
seems
interesting.
more like it's a surface level like attractiveness thing. I
Oh,
mean,
it's
you can
totally aesthetic.
right? Yeah, like you have a profile and stuff, but it's not like you're matched or anything. It's kind of like whatever
Personally,
wall.
I
they
really
put up.
enjoy Bumble.
Bumble.
Ooh, yeah.
I really enjoy Bumble. I think it's great. It's like
I
so
haven't heard of
the
this one.
premise of Bumble is like it's like Tinder, almost exactly like Tinder, but both parties swipe, but only the female party can initiate the chat. So
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like a Sadie Hawkins.
it's like a
date.
Sadie Hawkins thing.
That's sexist,
And
man.
it's honestly really great. I think it's great because I really hate being the person to initiate the chat, because I think after so many times of trying and not being responded to, it's just like, well, I don't know. It's kind of
Interesting.
demeaning in the spirit.
That's cool.
But
Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
no, it's great, man. I met good people through there, and then you actually know if the person is interested if they hit you
That's
up.
true.
They have like a day after you've matched, a day's time to hit you up.
Gosh. That sounds like a lot of pressure. Sounds like a lot to deal with.
Not too bad.
Really? Okay,
It's not
maybe
too
I'm
bad.
freaking
Yeah.
It's the least pressure of the dating apps, I think.
out. Frank, have
I've
you
always
used
been
any... Oh, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say, Kelly?
I've always been one of the first people to respond. I think I had in one of my profiles that, like, if you beat me to responding or like to messaging, you get bonus points, because I always, if I'm gonna like you, I'm gonna talk to you. Like, that's just
I
how
see what you're saying.
I take it, because I'm not on here just to like flip through like attractive guys and waste my time. Like,
Maybe
I try to go for like actually in-depth people.
this
Sorry,
could
that was
be
mean.
like a huge oversight, but like, it sounds like women would be more likely to be more selective in their choices, whereas I feel like guys would have the mentality of casting a wider net. You know what I mean? Just like, I don't know. Do you see yourself doing that, Danny, or like, or Buds? Do you just like a bunch of people, or do you
Mindless
like
swiping?
really think about it? Yeah.
I think there's periods throughout the day, like if I'm just like, I'm just gonna mindlessly swipe, go based off of
Interesting.
aesthetics, but there's times where I'm just like, I'm gonna take my time and read people's profiles
So a little bit
and
of both.
see how
Okay.
much I match.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
the
adorable.
sun came out. It's beautiful out here.
Aw.
It's a rare occurrence.
Oh, in Seattle, yeah, for sure. Especially right this time of year, man.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, Franklin, you haven't used any of these, right? That we're talking about. Bumble.
No, I've never used a dating app before this experience.
Interesting. Okay. So
Except for Grindr.
this whole thing, except for Grindr, this whole thing came up because I just had the idea that we needed to sign Frank up for eHarmony to make this work. Like we talked about a loose version of this idea like a year ago with Danny, and it was basically
We've
like
been kicking
Danny.
this around for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Danny and Frank both get
I
on
like-
Tinder, and Danny's experience, and Frank's the newbie, and then we talk about it. Well, Frank, of what you've heard, what's different about eHarmony? Like, what is it more or less the same thing, or what do you think?
So it sounds a lot more similar to Bumble, and that they do take it very seriously. Or I think you said OkCupid had a pretty in-depth like questionnaire
that
as
one.
well.
Yeah.
OkCupid then. Yeah, like I don't know, the questionnaire, granted there was a little bit of goofing around going on like in between questions, but I think it took me like a good 2.5 to 3 hours to finish the whole questionnaire, and that wasn't
Whoa.
even like being done setting up my profile. Like it was pretty intense, but
Yeah,
it was a really
it was
cool
long.
experience. Like I had to ask myself a lot of questions I don't think I've ever asked before, and that was really cool.
Interesting.
Like if anything, just that introspective like part of it I thought was really cool.
What kind of were there any you remember that you can share, Frank? Any that stuck out to you as being like, what? I can't believe that these people are asking me this right now.
You know, I wish I would have written more of them down, but I know we have a bunch of pictures of them on either your phone or Michelle's phone, because I know we took pictures of some
that's
pretty
right.
crazy ones.
And you know what? They got to be Michelle's phone. Well, she's listening to this right now, so when it catches up to her in the other room, because we're probably a couple
Nice.
seconds behind, maybe I can get a few of those. Have you had any
Yeah,
luck on eHarmony? What's happening, man? I know you were saying you were going to
Well,
send some
you
stuff
know-
on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I slacked it for a long time, and I knew this thing was coming up, so I hit it really hard like the past couple of weeks, especially like the night
That's what she
before
said.
Valentine's Day and during Valentine's Day. Just sending a bunch of messages out to these ladies. Nothing back yet, but that's kind of my own fault for not doing anything for so long.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, we're gonna
But
have
it's been
to. 'Cause
very interesting.
don't you have to? That's the other thing too. Okay, Cupid and Bumble, those are all free, right? There's no cost involved in
Yeah.
those.
No, you can do premium versions of them.
Oh,
for
interesting. What's eHarmony?
Yeah.
How much is eHarmony again? It was like a nice little chunk of change, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty little chunk of change because we signed up for 6 months because I know we plan on doing like an update episode of this
Yeah.
episode
Yeah.
whenever this trial runs out or whenever this period runs out. I want to say all in it was like it had to have been like I know it was over $100 or like $90 or something.
Oh,
Yeah, we
Oh,
put
yeah.
we put some money into this one, y'all. There's a video, there's a
Damn.
picture of Frank typing too. I got those things here. Let me read a couple of these questions real quick. So, there's like describes your religious beliefs or spirituality, which I think pretty much all of those probably have like a version of. Although
Mhm.
the one on eHarmony gets into some stuff I've never heard of, like Cow Dai, Tenrikyo, Unitarian
very
Universalism,
Encompassing
metaphysical.
in the
Yeah,
religions, yeah.
there's a ton of things. It looks like all the
You sure
pictures
it
we
wasn't
have. are
Christian
just
Mingle?
spirituality. I know, right? Aside from children, oh well, there's the question about like smoking. If you want to date someone with kids, what are you passionate about? I don't know. I feel like we got some of the. Do you often leave a mess in your room? That's a good question to have.
That is a good question.
Yeah, okay, Cupid goes into some of those. It's like your confidence levels, like if you're clean, you're messy. It's like, I don't know, all sorts of random stuff.
It goes
like
hard
that. And
into your kinks too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like
But
if you want to,
Really?
it'll
No,
ask
this-
you like,
eHarmony didn't ask
anal
me anything
and,
about kinks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
eHarmony doesn't ask anything about that. Interesting.
Yeah.
No.
yeah, it's
Like, I
definitely
have-
like what they want to focus on, you know?
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna read
very
you some of the
prominent.
OK Cupid questions.
Yeah, they're really good.
They are.
I feel like they push, but that's not like overly like saying anything about you either.
Okay.
But you can skip questions, and I've skipped questions before because I didn't feel comfortable answering them.
Here's
Oh, that's
there's someone that I have 83% like with, and I find her attractive. So let's see. We're gonna go to. Would you guys rather look at the questions dealing with other, lifestyle, dating, or sex,
Ooh,
or
other.
ethics, or religion?
Other. I'm curious about
Always
Okay.
other.
the unknown.
One is, are you happy with your life? We both said
Ooh.
yes. Wow, that's a very vague question.
That's
That's
a big old
do you-
vague question looming over the room, right?
Do you enjoy intense intellectual conversations? Yes. And which of the following best describes your typical demeanor? How often are you open with your feelings? So those are the 4 that we have answered together collectively. And ethics, let's see. Do you believe contraception is morally wrong? And then it says, should evolution and creationism be taught side by side in school? That's on
Oh
this
my
ethics
gosh.
one.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in today's political climate, though, I feel like if you were with someone who you just sharply disagreed with, it'd be pretty hard to.
Oh, trust me. Like,
Yeah.
personally, I remember I had met someone who I really liked. I thought was cool, and then it turned out like she was a hard, like, anti-vaxxer. And I was just
Whoa.
like, no. I was like, no. Sorry. That's not going to happen.
Sorry,
So-
fam. I believe in science.
Kind of jumping on that, like, what are the deal breakers when you like look through someone's profile? What are the things you see when you're like, nah, there's no way I'm touching this? Like, I
Patriots fan.
Patriots.
Hey.
True.
Kelly's a
Um,
Yankee. We have to take it easy on her, guys. They're
I
not,
would say, honestly,
they're not as tough as
like,
Texans.
abs, like, any person, like, just showcasing their abs within their first or second picture, I'm just like, over.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Or
That's a-
naked, like, overtly nude or something like that, you know?
Okay, just like obviously seeing that they're looking for certain kind of attention. You know what I mean on a dating
Yeah,
app.
well, yeah, someone who is completely attention oriented.
Okay,
About.
I mean, that's fair enough, man.
I agree
No one
with
wants to
that.
do that. What
Yeah,
about you,
I've
Kelly?
been
Any
trying
other
to keep that as a guideline.
any deal breakers for you, Kelly?
I am trying to find one. I've had a few people send me some weird stuff, man. I've got some
Oh.
really weird people who say weird things.
Well, I'm sure you get the weirdest things just because you're a girl,
Yeah,
too. You know what I mean?
honestly.
Like, guys aren't going to get as weird stuff as the females are going to get. Can you all still hear me over here? Is it okay?
I can hear you real well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, I think I found
Putting
it.
coffee in the French press.
What is that?
everybody.
So I never messaged this person, and so I don't even think we matched or anything. They just openly messaged me and said, "All right, it's kind of long, but I'll just
That's a pretty forward message.
shut up."
Well, great response, too.
That
dude.
took me a second.
Shut up.
It may be just don't get too intrigued. The cliffs of Moher, I would guess, would be on your list. Maybe I speak from personal experience. Question mark with a winky face. So more
What?
about you. Yeah. What one person would you bring on a trip with you on your trip? Could be anyone, someone famous, a family member, maybe someone who is a lot like you. ... And then it was 45 minutes later, because I did not respond to that he said, "I realize you're probably in the middle of a long, detailed response, but you don't have to take that much time with me. Just copy and paste one of the following. A, you got your email got lost in the sea of predictable guys, but I would enjoy getting to know you better as you are very hot. B,
So much. Oh god, that is so cringe.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
B, you're
Never
very
call someone hot.
B, you're very hot, but just not my type, and when all is said and done, but good luck in your search. Or C, okay, you caught me. I am secretly an 88-year-old balding man from overseas who was out to get your money, but knew there was no fooling while
no.
I put
Oh my
on my best
God.
catfish girl voice while we would have planned our fake wedding.
Oh.
Oh.
But I
my
must not.
God.
Must I admit you are very hot. So every single answer says
Wow.
that I tell him he's hot.
That guy has like definitely like a body
not
image
done.
problem or something, or like a, oh my gosh, oh yeah, keep going.
2 hours after that, 2 hours after that, did we break up already? I want my CDs back. I also realized your
Oh my
inbox is
God.
loaded with super impressive LOL. Note the sarcasm. And emails can get overlooked, but on the other hand, never mind the breakup. We can just get a divorce already. But look, I am getting the mansion and the fast cars. You are getting the 5 bratty and whiny kids. Okay, both capitalized, 3 question marks with a smiley face. Another message after that. Otherwise, just admit to the bald head and wrinkles. Okay, and then after that, I swear that I am only a 1/3 creepy, and that was 4 hours after the original.
Ooh.
God.
Wow, somebody had a weird night.
Oh god.
And he had a whole
That's-
conversation with himself.
Yes.
Jeez.
I've had some other ones like that, like some really long, weird messages, and I
Wow.
can't find any of them.
That's
On a very
pretty intense.
surface level, deny for me. I feel like, as a personal choice, I can't date someone who's extremely tall, and I'm not that tall of a guy.
Interesting.
So-
How tall are you? You're like 5'9"?
11.
11. Oh,
No,
11. Sorry.
5'11".
that wasn't a sharp stab. What's even more funny is the first
What are you,
time
like,
I've
5'6"?
incorrectly guessed someone's height on this podcast is now a person I know in real life and who I spent a lot of time with. That's the one I
yeah,
don't
you're
get
really
right.
good at guessing celebrity heights for some reason.
I just watch a lot of Jeff
Wait.
Foxworthy. I guess that's what I'm learning today.
And you don't
Yeah,
pay any
like, I
attention
think-
to Danny.
I think the tallest person that I've personally dated has been like 6'1", or like 6'1" or 6'2". But
Jeez.
that's different.
That's pretty tall,
wasn't
man.
into
That
it.
would
I mean, just
that'd be weird.
logistically speaking, makes things a little
We're all
tough.
the same height when we lay down.
Oh my gosh. Do you guys have any weird stories from Frank? You haven't talked to any, like you haven't had any kind of interaction yet, right? On your
No, not really, man. I've had a lot of fun going through profiles.
yeah.
Especially when Michelle's around, because she'll sass up these girls with me.
There you go.
But
Sounds
like,
good,
there is
Seth.
one profile that I pulled aside that I wanted to read because I think you were around too when I saw this one because it just made me think like, oh my god, I need to run away from this lady as fast as possible.
Oh
It just
yeah,
seems
yeah,
like a lot.
yeah. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, what was
Yeah,
this one
let me see
again?
if I can find it really quick. I had it. I believe her name was Linda. Let me see if I can find her again. I just had it there.
And just so
Oh,
you
look
two
at
know,
it. Tina.
Frank is expanded. Your search is worldwide now, right? You put no distance.
Oh yeah, we're looking everywhere. I have
What?
like matches from Bangkok
You
and
can do
Thailand. It's
that?
been a lot of
Jesus
fun.
Christ.
Wow.
On eHarmony, yeah, you can search the whole world, y'all. As long as you line up on your philosophical beliefs.
All right, so
Anyways.
this was the red flag I found on Tina's page, and this is under I'm most thankful for. This is her number one. I am most thankful for my friends. I don't have many. Seems sweet, seems a little sincere. I'm pretty hard on people and have high expectations, so to be called a friend by me is hard to come by. But the people that I have let in are my rocks, and I'm very appreciative of their love and support. It's like, oh, I don't want to deal with this lady's test just to get close to that inner circle.
Yeah.
Damn, that sounds like a lot of work.
That sounds super creepy. Like,
Jesus Christ.
I
And
don't
like
know,
to lead
very
off
needy.
with that?
Yeah, you don't lead
To
with
lead off
that.
with your high expectations?
Oh yeah, you know what? That is true. I think like that's another turnoff is like I'll be searching and I'll be like looking and I was like, oh okay, especially on Tinder. Aesthetically, this girl's pretty cute. Let's see what she's about. And there's like a list of maybe 20 qualifications for what kind of person she
interesting.
wants. You know what I mean?
Like a shopping list, yeah.
Yeah. It's like
One
must
thing
be
that's also
taller than
really been,
6'1". Must be
Ugh.
like, you know what I mean?
Must have a
That's
college bachelor's degree.
Yeah, college bachelor's degree.
College bachelor's degree with 2 years experience. No, sorry. It's like,
Not
damn,
like a
I'm-
bachelor's degree from the TV
Present
show.
cover letter and
Bachelor.
resume on
That's true,
request.
References.
Hey, actually, there should be references though on a dating app. That's what they should do. Although I think
I'm
there
not-
is one
Yeah, it's
like
a
that.
link to like 3 of your exes.
No, well, someone told
Yeah.
me about one where
No.
it's like you will only see people who are friends of people that you're on Facebook with. Maybe it was you, Kelly,
Oh,
or I could be crazy. Maybe. Well, I guess it
that
wasn't
sounds
either.
interesting.
It was like a dating app where your only matches would be people who on Facebook that you're friends with, or like they're friends of friends. You know what I mean? So it'd be like, oh, Frank knows this girl or something that I don't know, but we have a mutual friend. It makes the whole thing a little less creepy, I think. They should do Craigslist like that,
That is
too.
weird. It's creepy because then you have references because you're just like, hey, I'm gonna message this person and see how much of a piece of shit they are.
Exactly. And then Frank would be like, oh, that girl's crazy, dude. Don't talk to that chick. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, just for the sake of comedy, I'd be like, no, man, you should go for it. She's totally cool.
Oh, you would do that. That's super evil. That is super evil.
And then when things got real bad, I'd be like, didn't I tell you she was crazy?
Well, I don't know
Ooh,
about you, Frank.
another
but
deal breaker is no dogs.
Yeah, no dogs.
Ooh, yeah, no
I have
dogs,
seen
deal
people that
breaker
are
for
just
sure.
like not a dog person. I was like, what the?
I'd be
How
super
dare
okay
you.
with that. I just don't like animals as much as everyone else does, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
But you have so many.
I know. I mean, I like cats, but I could live with not having any animals at all. Although, no, I take that back. I
Meryl's
probably need at
basically
least
a
one
cat.
I need one
That's
cat.
one of my
for sure.
favorite things about being in your apartment is getting surrounded by animals every so
That's
often.
true. Yeah,
Sometimes I'm just covered in cuddles.
that's true. There's a lot of little animals in here. What's up, Mer? She's
There
looking
she
at us
is.
right now. She's adorable. Well, any other horror stories you guys wanted to share? Well, maybe it doesn't have to be horror stories, but
I guess it's
Horror
not really a
stories. One
horror
thing that's
story.
really been annoying me is super incomplete profiles. Like just a picture, just the
Yeah.
basic stats, and then nothing else.
it's like,
It's like I
ISIS
took 3
profiles.
hours filling out this questionnaire, and you're telling me you have nothing.
I think it's worse on. I mean, it's not worse because I didn't have to pay for it, but on Tinder, it's just like you don't even have to put words. It's just pictures.
You put
Oh,
I
really?
will not like anybody who only has like 1 or 2 pictures with nothing written. I won't
Yep.
do it if they have anything douchey written. I'm picky. I'm super picky.
No YOLOs.
No what?
No YOLOs.
No
No
YOLOs.
hashtag
I thought you
YOLOs.
said yellows, and I was like, am I missing something?
You just hate
You're like, is
yellow.
Frank
feel
being
like-
super racist right now?
I feel like I've tried to be like super succinct in like my description on Tinder
Nice word.
because
choice.
it's like, yeah, it's like there's been like I went super detailed on it for a long time and I just figured like people just want like a bullet list on this thing, so I put like what I'm going to school for, like the instruments I play, and like I like to go bowling, watch movies, and eat sushi, and and then I just put like the things I'm into, like Jurassic Park and GIFs and Game of Thrones, and and then all the bands I'm into, and then Pokemon, and then dogs, and then things I dislike, like cauliflower, and people who say, anyways, and then people who clap when people who clap when planes land.
Like, hey, we all know we were about to die. The agreement is nobody acknowledges it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
That's
like why, yeah.
That's a really good summary of Danny too. I got the full picture off what you said for sure.
Yeah, that's me, right?
Yeah, that nails all
GIFs,
the top notes.
SpongeBob, memes, Jurassic Park.
Anyways, no, I'm just joking. What?
I hate you.
I think you'll. Well, man, I just had another question, and it fleeted from my brain that I wanted to ask you guys. Side note: I lost my notebook that I write all the podcast questions, like all the podcast info in. I'm super sad.
David, you just lost a bunch of our history, dude.
I know, dude. I don't know how I lost it either because it never leaves that room. Like I took it somewhere and now it's gone. I'm sure I'll find it this weekend, but I'll have to transfer some of those notes into there. Oh yeah, here. So for Frank, I guess it doesn't count as much because he's just barely jumping into this thing. But do you see internet dating? And anyone can take this, I guess. But do you see internet dating as the primary version of dating now? Like do you? I don't know how to describe this. Like, are you going out to a bar trying to find a date, or are you like, okay, I'm gonna find a match, and then you know what I mean? You'd rather go facial connection immediately, Danny?
I feel like all of my successful dates have been meeting a friend through a friend, or meeting someone through a friend, or meeting someone through school, or meeting someone through work.
Okay.
And not through this.
Yeah, this is like a plan B kind of thing.
Totally.
I think that makes sense for you too, dude. You're very personable. You're just a personable guy. You have good conversation skills. You little orator.
Maybe it's a trust thing though. You know what I mean? Like, these people have met you in person physically, and they've seen you interact in a place in a way that's not like overtly romantic or directly romantic.
Yeah.
And so that's why there's a better connection. I don't know.
Well, and I would also, I think that you can read about someone and you can look at pictures, but all of those things are being picked by them. You know what I mean? They're not, there's no way that the profile can be 100% honest to who you are without you kind of like shaping it in a weird way, not being deceitful, but you want to put your best foot forward.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas you meet in person and you can, just from body language, you can learn so much about a person.
It's a lot like a job, like you're throwing you don't put your crappy stuff on a resume.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, that's a great analogy. That's a really good analogy. It's very similar.
And we do the same thing like out when we're just being sociable with people. You know what I mean? Like you don't. Yeah.
You can't get the read of someone.
I feel like I'm a pretty like obnoxious person when I want to be, but like when I'm out in public, I'm a lot quieter because I have to like know that people can tolerate all of me before I give them all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because all of me.
Oh, dude, I thought you were gonna sing all that song. This is all that. We shouldn't get yanked.
David, no, the copyright infringement.
The copyright infringement from Nickelodeon.
Just put it in a different key.
Oh, wait, no, that's the same key, just an octave higher. All that. This is all that. Anyways, Kelly, what about you? Do you find internet dating is your primary source? What does a lady do to go meet someone? What do you do?
Okay, so for the record, I am an introvert. However, I do prefer to go out. I like to go to some of my favorite like towns or cities or whatnot, and like bars and so be it. But I don't like going by myself. I'm a tiny little person, and I just don't need any bad guys coming for me. So I don't like to go out by myself.
That makes sense. It's different for a girl
I
than for a guy.
will, if I'm feeling real ballsy, I'll just do it. But so I usually try to get some friends to go out, or at least like one like other girlfriend or something like that, and I'll go. But the thing is, I've never found anybody in a bar that I've met and like had a good conversation with that I enjoyed. Well, a bartender, but that doesn't count.
It counts.
Okay.
Bartenders are people too, Kelly.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes those people are like working for a tip or something too.
Like they've
But maybe
gotta
that's more
be
so
good
the
to
opposite
you,
That's
yeah.
sex.
exactly what I mean. That
Yeah.
they're kind of they're making money off of flirting with you because you're gonna give them a better tip.
Exactly.
And, yeah. So, but like I said before, I had a really good experience with somebody on a dating app. It was my first one too, so I had like no expectations, but we just had like good chemistry, and I was like, I didn't think about like having a second date, like if I should or not. I was just like, so when are we going out again? And we didn't go far on our first date or anything like that. But I've also had other dates that it was like I couldn't tell how I felt about them. Like I think I like them, but I also feel like something's off, and I don't know what it is. And so I went out with that guy for like a few times, and I just like it wasn't working for me. So that I ended that one. And then
Have you
I've
ghosted?
had some. No, I told him that after a few dates, I said I don't want to see you anymore.
That's very respectable of you.
Yeah,
Like,
that's very nice. Yeah.
There's a
He
lot
was
of
such a
ghosting
great
that
guy.
happens.
No, he was so nice, and like he was like an absolute sweetheart, and he'd only been in one other relationship, and I was his first online like date at all. That I was like, this isn't working for me, but like I wanted to be respectful of him because I respect him as a person. I've met guys that have been very like deceitful online, and then I meet them in person, and then I ghost them, and I don't feel as bad because it was like you basically false advertised yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that. Or if I get any creepy vibes from a person, I just do it because it's just turned off so bad.
Yeah.
That one I feel a little bit bad about, but it's just I trust my gut more than like anything when it comes to those things. But that's also coming from a woman's perspective. Like I also have to think about my security. Like I live alone. Like if they find out where I live and like all that kind of stuff. Because I had a stalker in college for a little while, so I've been pretty paranoid since then.
Yeah. I can't even imagine.
So
Yeah.
it might be a little bit different for girls in that sense. So
I think it is. Yeah, for sure.
But
You gotta
then
be
again,
really
I know a lot of
careful.
people who, as women, are jerks on it with their ghosting. Like they'll just, I don't
Oh,
like.
it's not even
Girls
just
know.
ghosting, but some of the girls that I know, like, that talk to me about this whole dating thing have told me, like, I mean, a lot of them just basically do it for free dinners. Or
Oh wow.
free
Wow.
drinks, free dinners.
I mean that's funny. That's funny, but in a weird way. Because I've heard people like talk about that before in a very negative connotation, and this sounds kind of ridiculous, but getting a free meal as a lady is almost just like a benefit of the gender. Like,
Yeah, I think
like
That
there's
was true. I paid for a terrible date for dinner and drinks for the both of us, and he did not offer me for anything.
ooh.
oh well, that's lame. But I mean, like if the guy
That
invites
sounds like you went on a
out
date with George
to buy,
Soros.
I just hey, so I picked you up, so I'm gonna need like some gas money.
Oh boy.
We had a friend who
Oh,
asked
he's
a girl
so
for gas
cheap.
money on a date when he was in high school. He was like, "Oh, I drove, so if you could pay for like half the gas, that'd be cool."
Oh, man.
Well, just what I mean is like I think sometimes men are expected to pay, although definitely not all of them do. And I think today it's not as big.
Yeah.
It's not as
It's
like
an area, it's a cultural area thing, I think, because moving out here and the dating scene out here, it's like there's a lot of belief of equality, which is great. I believe personally in equality, so I always say like, if you'd like to come and have dinner with me, it's like a wordplay. Like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? If
Instead
you're
of
having dinner
let me take you out
with
to
me,
dinner. Yeah.
yeah, then we both pay together. And I always say like, down the middle, sound cool? Like that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I think expecting someone to pay for you is shit, and not even like, oh, I'm sorry, is
Yeah, it's okay.
is terrible.
It's way less than
But
mine.
yeah. But
Interesting.
I think that's not a good thing to do. And I mean, you know, sometimes you feel generous and you'll just pay for it. But like, yeah, I think expectation is just not cool.
I
Yeah.
think that it should go by based on how the date goes too. Like if you guys are having like a really romantic time and it like seems right, then yeah. But like
Yeah, do it.
I think it's definitely a wordplay thing. But also if someone's just like giving you the intention that they're taking it out, then that just kind of seems like they're being cheap, but then I don't really think about it sometimes from the man's perspective and being like, wow, she's not even offering to pay. If a guy does
I see
offer to
what you're
pay,
saying.
I will sometimes, if it's like a sit down dinner, I'll offer to pay for like a tip or something like that. But
Yeah.
I've been in like a situation obviously where I've had to pay, but also down the middle is on the first date. Kind of, I would feel weird about it. I won't lie. I'd feel a little bit weird about for the first date. For the second date, or if you have any feelings that they're just trying to like use you, then yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
go down
yeah,
the
yeah.
middle.
Then you're like down the middle.
But if it's like a sweet girl and like you guys are having a great time and like she seems really nice and everything.
Oh, it just pay. Yeah.
Pay for that girl's
Yes.
meal,
It
yeah.
sounds like Danny.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
It
I'll-
sounds like Kelly's just calling Danny a cheapskate. That's what I heard right now.
No.
I'm just saying,
No,
like,
I'm just joking. I'm just
both
messing with you.
sides could see it that way, though.
I think it's nice when you're the guy and the girl offers to pay for her own meal or like offers to pay, and then you're like, no, I insist. Let me pay for this.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
guys-
That's
and
the
also
ideal scenario.
the cultural
Very
climate out
Japanese
here
businessman.
is it's pretty intense. Like
Yeah,
you
it
do
is.
not want to
That's what I
assume.
did. Sorry.
No, like
I just
oh, I'm
realized.
saying like you do not want to assume like there's women here that get mad because you hold the door open for them.
I could see
Yeah.
that specifically in Seattle. I think that there's a totally
Yes.
different culture for sure.
Yeah, like there
Um,
are people that make it adamant. Like I don't want you to pay for me for anything.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
different.
really weird.
I think that, well, I had offered, like, as that guy, for the guy, I'm like, oh, do you want me to get this? And he's like, yeah, thanks.
He's like, yeah, actually, you want to hit up another bar?
Oh, sure. Well, let me
It
just get
ended
some
up
dessert
being
real
like
quick
a-
then.
Oh, can I get one last shot?
It was like a $40 bill, too. And I came to
Oh.
Hartford.
That's pretty
and
good.
that was like,
Wow.
I got away.
Yeah, Kelly, you shouldn't date a guy
For two
like
people,
that.
that's pretty good.
Danny's like, well, it's a pretty good deal. Yeah, but after driving.
Yeah,
where's-
that is. I mean, I think
is
it's like a
Hartford in
$60 to $80 night out here.
Oh, wow.
Where's Hartford? Is that in Connecticut?
That's Connecticut,
Yeah, that's Connecticut.
Okay, I was
And
pretty sure.
I live in Massachusetts, so it was.
which is
I
so
was
far
working-
away.
Well, no, but like to get home from there, it took me probably about an hour and 15.
Jeez.
I did
I'd
work
be
45
upset.
minutes away, so part of it was like half an hour from my work. So
Okay.
then
think
I
the
had to go all
max-
the way home after that.
Max area I'm willing to drive to like go on a date with someone. It's like it also depends like how freaking cool they are, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think like max I would drive is like 3 hours. I think 3 hours.
3 hours. Whoa.
Yeah, like I would drive down to Portland from here.
What about you,
to
Frank?
meet.
What's? I know you're set worldwide. Where are you? Where
I mean,
would
yeah,
you
I'm
drive?
set worldwide. I would do some traveling, man. I'm really just like, at this point, just open to an experience. I think any experience is super cool that I've never experienced before. Even like just, I hope I get to talk to somebody who's in a different country. That would be cool, just to get like different perspectives. Meet somebody with a totally different like upbringing and like social background than what I'm used to.
Interesting.
That just the idea of that's very exciting to me.
Frank, you're an interesting fellow. You're a very interesting fellow. I totally just got sidetracked again too in my brain though.
Why are you getting sidetracked? I'm over here running Rocket League trainings and I'm still in the game.
You're playing Rocket League right now. I heard the thumbsticks
I'm running
move a little
trainings,
bit.
David.
That's still playing Rocket League. Playing the training video. Anyways, I feel like what I've learned today is that we need to sign Frank up for OkCupid though. That it sounds essentially like the same thing as eHarmony,
And
but
Bumble.
probably with like a more. Yeah, like for part 2 of this, we should go bigger, longer, and uncut. You know what I mean? But not the uncut part.
I'm always down for that.
That's interesting. I've definitely gotten some insight from you all for sure. Like some stuff I did not think about at all, or haven't had to think about. Now that I'm like, Michelle and I just had our like 7th Valentine's Day together, and the pay thing isn't even an issue anymore. It's just like, do you want to pay for it? It's like, no, I'll pay for it. It's like, well, you're gonna pay for this later. It's like, oh well, it's all the same. You know what I mean? Like our money's just like, there's no
the
like,
money's all going to the same place.
exactly right. It's all in one big pot. Communism.
I think that happens when you guys live together. That seems to be a
That
common
too.
trend I've seen.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
well, you
watching
have to
our
start paying
podcast
stuff.
while it's happening.
Meta.
Whoa.
Trippy, man.
Listen to it and respond to yourself from minutes ago.
No.
That's funny.
Please do not do that.
I just showed you spot up on here. Well, I don't
There's
know
two
if
people watching it.
is there something you wanted
Sorry.
to drop in? Like, is there anything I missed that you feel like the people need to know, that history needs to be marked down with about dating apps? I don't know. Anyone?
Interesting. Well, I don't know, but I am kind of just getting my toes dipped into this whole situation.
Yeah, Frank's barely getting in it, I think.
But the internet's a beautiful thing, you know
Uh-oh.
what I mean? I'm getting matched up with some lady in Thailand, some lady in
Uh-oh.
Brazil.
Interweb's cutting out.
Uh-oh.
Mine or yours or what?
Oh,
I think Danny's
I-
having some technical difficulties.
I'm here now. Okay, I think
Okay.
it's settled.
Don't leave me, girl.
Don't leave me.
Were you gonna toss something in there, Kelly?
Yeah, the worldwide thing is pretty cool. But go in with low expectations, high hopes.
Oh, for sure.
That kind of goes without saying, but like, I've just seen so many people they may look good on paper, but just that whole if it seems like it's deceitful, get out, sort of situation.
Like, be hopeful, but also wary.
Yes.
Interesting. Walk softly, carry big stick. What about you, Danny?
Oh yeah.
I would say in my, experience with all this, I feel like I try not to do it as often. I probably only swipe when I'm on the toilet, to be honest.
Sitting on a toilet.
You only swipe before you wipe.
Sitting on the toilet.
Swipe before you wipe. That's great.
But yeah, I honestly favor the idea of just me going on with my life, getting things I need to get done, and hopefully just meeting someone along the way. Because I really favor organic interaction or meeting through friends, rather than doing this, because I've met so many people through here, and it goes nowhere. And then other than that, it's just shallow, or I just don't vibe with them in person. So I just
Yeah, the
I don't
vibe
believe
thing.
it should. Yeah, it's the vibe thing, and I just don't believe it should require so much effort. So much.
Okay,
effort.
that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Well, I only have one more question, y'all. All y'all, if I feel like you could safely say the stigma on internet dating is dead, whereas in the early 2000s it was weird.
Oh, yeah.
Still, super weird. But now everyone just does it to some degree. People who are dating, anyways. What do you think the next relationship stigma that won't be a big deal in 10 years? Is there something else that won't be I don't know, looked upon strangely? Part of me kind of thinks online video game related dating, because I want to say that George met his lady friend on an online video game. I could be wrong. I've known a couple other people like that. I'm pretty sure that's how Adam, aka Rebel, also met his wife, which is a weird thing. But to me, that seems
And
A
you
little
didn't just,
nerdier?
yell at her?
well. I'm sure there was yelling involved, but then they figured it out. That's a I don't know. I think everyone in here has played with him before. We all know exactly how loud and vivacious he can be.
actually never
Vivacious is a good word.
Meeting someone on a game, or meeting someone through the video game interwebs.
Here's my thing on it. People on WoW have met and gotten married, and WoW's been around for
Yeah.
a long time. And I remember you'd hear about it, and people be like, "Oh, that's so awesome!" Oh, it's not creepy because they ended up getting married.
Yeah.
Dating, I feel like dating would be tougher in video games because you're all over the place. Versus on a dating app, you have it set to local. Now, if I met somebody online, gaming, that was in my local area and went out with them, it would be equivalent to me as using a dating app. But I
Yeah.
think the next thing is going to be elopement, because everyone's just going to be like, whatever, YOLO, it's meant to be. 10
So
years.
so just Like no marriage at all is what are you saying, or just like people like running away, like eloping? What do you mean, like?
Like getting married suddenly
Oh,
at like
I see.
town hall.
Interesting.
Not
Okay.
not leaving, not running away, just staying where they are, so it's like practical, but like not practical.
My family would kill me.
Oh, your family would kill
if
you.
I didn't give
Hillary.
if I didn't give my mom a chance to cry at my wedding, she'd be super pissed.
Yeah, it's true.
Ooh,
The stigma
that's
thing is
actually
still
good.
very prominent, by the way. Like it's very prominent with my family. They think that I met my ex through friends. I've never mentioned to them. My mom kind of knows,
Oh,
but she's
interesting.
my mom is very like, you need to be careful, and I'm like, dude, I know.
Yeah, moms will be scared, but they're a little afraid you'll end up like
Yeah.
a human flesh suit or something.
Oh
A
my
lampshade.
gosh. What?
Bad news, I already am.
Wow, you went super Silence of the Lambs with that. Aren't
I've
we
been
all
reading a lot
human?
of true crime lately.
Aren't we all human flesh suits, though? You know, when you really start
Ooh,
thinking
we should
about
have a conversation about true crime, because I'd love to talk about
it.
true crime.
Ooh, we should do
Ooh,
true
we got
crime.
a new one. We got a new episode idea, David.
We'll be back
You guys need
in...
to watch Mindhunter.
Well, we kind of had an idea about that, too, with the... We were supposed to do a spooky story episode with Danny, where we all share spooky stories from our
Ooh,
lives.
I
but
got
we
a
should
lot
do
of
a true
those.
crime run. That'd be cool. We should
Frank's got
definitely
a
do
lot
a
of
true
those,
crime
too.
episode.
I've
True
got
crime
some
streets
that are
are
at
lit.
Frank's house.
Oh, really? I'd love to
Mhm.
hear about that, because ghosts aren't real and everything.
Frank knows about it.
Well, everybody, I mean, I'm ready to close the book on this thing. I think it's Peeps and Predicts time, if everyone else is down.
Let's do it.
Let's figure out what's going
It's
on
time
here.
for everybody's favorite game.
Yeah. Let's see here. Open it up. This is weird because this is the first time that like one person is opening all of them. You know what I mean?
I'm a little bit jealous.
Oh gosh, and we got a political one too. Great. Okay. This is from a friend of mine, Anthony Ramirez. His submission was Donald Trump versus George Washington.
Ooh. No challenge.
The first president
The founding
against the
father
last
versus the
and
man
final
trying
president.
to tear it all down. Yeah.
What?
I said the first president against the last and final president of the United States.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. And their predicament today, their first predicament is creating a successful podcast. This is like our third meta one in a row, which is a little ridiculous.
Donald Trump wins it.
You know what? Oh, man. I
mean,
think
if
it's
we're
just
talking
super
Unfortunately,
easy.
I think we're gonna have to give it to Donald Trump, man. George Washington
Yeah.
be speaking in old-timey English.
Yeah.
Nobody understand what he's talking about.
And
Those wooden
wouldn't
teeth would be
understand how
hard to
to use
listen
it.
through.
Even if
Whistling.
even if you caught George whistling through his wooden teeth, even if you caught him up with like today's terminology and technology, Donald Trump became a success because he knew how to use the internet to his advantage, and he knows how to like gather an audience. You know what I mean? So there's no argument.
Ugh, you're right.
Yeah,
You
and he would have the best people
Right.
working on it. He would have these crazy numbers, unbelievable numbers, outrageous
Unbelievable numbers. We're
It
getting
would be
huge
the
Biggest
numbers.
numbers you've ever seen.
New
Wait,
numbers you've never seen.
But Washington, everyone would be like, "Oh man, Washington's back," and he'd get like a ton of press, and everyone would be following him and like listening
That's a
to
good
him
point.
because he's suddenly back.
No, listen,
So-
it would
If-
die out
yeah.
because he would have too much reason. And people don't like reason anymore.
Ugh.
Get
You
that
know,
logic out of my face.
Unfortunately,
Reason doesn't sell. Look at Alex Jones.
that's true. Well, if you think about the most successful podcasts today, though, you have like NPR is like one of the highest downloaded podcasts. I think
Yeah.
Joe Rogan is the most downloaded podcast of all time, like as far as amount
Also
of
not the
episodes
most logical
downloaded.
guy.
I guess, but he's not like Alex Jones. You know what I mean? He's a reasonable dude. He goes.
He
He's
has
not
Alex
like
Jones
ripping
on
his.
sometimes.
Yeah, when he had Alex Jones on, that was amazing. I could see. You know what? I could see if like George Washington came back tomorrow, everyone would be down. We'd all jump on the podcast. We'd be like, "What? George Washington? What?" And then, yeah, I think people might lose interest. That's really sad, but it would be too.
This is hard to say for sure,
Yeah,
but there are people
obviously.
that are more insightful that are alive right now than Donald Trump that probably have access to a podcast that no
Oh,
one's
that's
listening
true.
to.
Ooh, that's true. I don't know.
The
well,
loudest voice is the one that people hear.
Are we all down to vote on this thing? I mean, I think I'm gonna go Donald Trump.
As
Unfortunately.
much as I thought I would never vote for the man, I have to give Donald Trump my vote.
Yeah.
Yep, he's gonna win it.
Agreed.
All right. Well, Trump. It is. We got another predicament though. It's best 2 out of 3. First
Okay.
to 2, whatever. First to 2, I guess is a better way to say it. Okay. This one is American Gladiator. So,
Ooh.
which by the way,
Washington.
I got an SNES Classic Edition like a couple weeks ago. I modded it and I put a bunch of games on it, and I saw there was an American Gladiators game. There was 2 players, so I put it on, thinking obviously it'd be awesome. It's terrible. It makes no sense. You can't tell at all what's going on. It's like
I
unplayable.
have to see.
Yeah, dude.
Is it as bad as the Lost game?
The Lost? Oh, dude, I've only seen videos of the game for Lost. I still kind of want to play it because I like the show, but Frank, we should, when we get a capture card, we should do a stream of a Super Nintendo, and that'll be the whole thing.
That sounds super.
Michelle
Well, I
says
gotta say, just
that
first
we
off,
can hear you
what?
eating, Danny.
What's that?
Michelle says we can hear you eating. That's what she came in and told me. She was like, stop eating
Oh,
chips.
yeah,
You can
I
hear
put the
Danny.
mic on mute. I was eating
Okay,
carrots.
yeah. There you go.
Our producer sent us a note.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's good, man. They're good for your eyes.
And she's on it. Michelle's on it.
Donald Trump has no military experience, whereas George Washington,
He could kill some people.
Dude,
He can
yeah.
kill
he
some butt.
probably did.
He did kill people. He was like a
Probably.
general. Yeah, he was on the battlefield.
I definitely vote for George Washington on this one because also Trump couldn't kick his teeth out because they're wood, like they're in there, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Trump.
making
that's
another
true.
wooded teeth joke, but this one I felt like was kind of necessary.
Get him both in there. Get him both in there.
Do some damage.
I mean, I also think
Yeah.
like Trump probably can't even play a full 18 holes of golf without like sweating profusely. There's no way he's going to
No,
be
it's
George
probably a
Washington.
big workout
American
for the man.
Gladiators. That's as much work as he gets walking around the golf course.
I agree.
The only thing you could say is that Donald Trump's probably what, like 6'1", 6'2"? He's pretty tall. Whereas George
tall is
Washington, well,
Washington.
George Bush,
People
I
were
don't know how
just
tall
smaller
George
back
Bush is.
then.
People were smaller back then, but still, like he was lean. He was strong. He was like a man. You know what I mean? He was like
He
chopping
didn't have a
wood.
body that looked like it was made of chewed up bubble gum.
Yeah, he didn't eat 2 Big Macs, fillet of fish, and soda every day for lunch. So, yeah, George Washington. I'm not even going to ask for everyone's votes. We've decided it's George Washington.
I mean, one has ridden a horse into battle.
Right.
True.
The other is on golf carts sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
electronic horses.
the best golf carts too.
Right.
All right.
biggest.
Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, this is awful. This is the tiebreaker round. Negotiating a high-end business transaction / merger.
No.
I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. That's what it is.
Trump.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunate.
Oh man.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to attempt to make a case for George Washington, though. So here's my reasoning. Donald
Bring it.
Trump is not a successful businessman. Like, most of his businesses have gone bankrupt. Like, he negotiates high-end business transactions and mergers and then, like, fires everyone else and doesn't pay any of the workers. So I don't know if that could be successful. Whereas George Washington literally started a country. You know what I'm saying? That is a high-end merger
It is a
for
business.
sure. He was like,
But
I'm going
if
to take
you're
these 13
measuring-
colonies, I'm going to merger them together into one country. What? That's
If you're
pretty cool.
measuring by how successful these mergers are down the line, then George Washington started the country that would one day elect Donald Trump as president.
Hmm?
Dang,
Oh.
dude. Wow, that's an amazing argument. Wow. Okay.
Thank you, Miss Falco, my debate teacher in high school.
That
I
is a really
guess.
good argument. That is a really...
Yeah. I like that argument a lot. 'Cause it's so true. And
but
I hate it. At the same time.
So then the question is, does Donald Trump being president ruin the United States forever and all its accomplishments?
I guess
It
that's the
definitely-
big question.
That is the big question.
that
right?
we're
That's-
all facing right now.
Wait, what were you saying, Danny? I didn't hear what you said.
So it definitely is a blight on its history.
right?
That's for sure.
But I mean,
Yeah.
if you credit George Washington for Donald Trump, you have to credit him also for everything that's been positive in the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he set it up. Which there are a lot of good things and there are also a lot of bad things, and it seems lately more bad than good. But that's all right. I don't know. Y'all.
I'm sure George Washington had some business acumen, though. He was probably a pretty sweet
He had to.
businessman.
He was a landowner, you know what I mean? All these guys were big landowners. He had to have a bunch of stuff in Virginia, plantations.
I think my vote's George Washington. As much as like, well, okay, is it current business, or is it like business in general?
You know, that's kind of the scope of the argument we need to create ourselves. Negotiating a high-end business transaction merger. I mean, it doesn't necessarily say that it has to be today. It doesn't even necessarily have to mean
I'm gonna take that
like,
loophole.
I'll take
I'm
it
gonna
too.
say George Washington.
I'm going George as well, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that Frank's point swayed me.
Oh no.
Ooh, so are we tied?
No, I say
Five.
Washington.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Nice. I'll just vote for Washington as well and make this a unanimous decision.
Bam.
Alright.
George
Guys,
Washington.
we finally beat Donald Trump.
We beat him.
That's all I ever wanted to see in my lifetime.
All it took was George Washington to do it. Okay, well, here's the last thing then, y'all. We now have George Washington as our winner of the week. However, on Peeps and Predicaments, we have a reigning champion, and the reigning champion is arguably, man's greatest creation, Batman, obviously.
Boo.
So Batman's been Peeps and Predicts champ for like 5 episodes now, I want to say. We got to see what's up. One last predicament, and now it's George Washington against Batman to see what comes out on top here. Ooh. The question is, being finalists on The Voice.
Interesting.
I'm just picturing it.
Being a
Oh,
finalist
no.
on The Voice. Yeah.
Here's the thing: we've never heard George Washington's voice. There's no recording it.
That's true too.
I bet it
And
was
who
super
knows?
silky.
Who knows if he
I
was
bet he sounded
even...
like Luther Vandross.
How on earth are we supposed to like answer this question?
That's tough.
Like-
Well,
That's so tough. Batman. Can he even sing?
Can Batman sing? That's a good question too.
Batman even.
He can. Batman lost the ability to sing when he was a young boy, and he watched his parents murdered in front of him.
Oh my gosh, get out of here.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. It's only like 40 years late, right? Dan, I don't know. Dan, you have anything you want to weigh in on here? How are you feeling about this?
Is this Donald Trump and
No.
Batman?
George Washington and Batman.
Washington on Batman, and who's going to be a better singer to win a pop star show?
I mean, Batman's better everything.
Right?
So, Batman, obviously.
I'm looking up right now to see what's up with George Washington, to see if George Washington was a
Dude.
musician or not. And
The
he
thing is,
How
he
was
could
George
whistle.
Washington's voice?
apparently he wasn't a musician. He enjoyed theater and liked to dance. He was a dancer, everybody.
It's got some rhythm.
That's true. He's got some natural rhythm.
How many dances has Batman been to?
I don't know, and I don't think you can even make an argument. Well, there are YouTube videos where Batman is singing. Oh my gosh!
And you know what? George Washington had some musical taste. He once complained that the music of the army was very bad in general, and he ordered that the drums improve or that they're going to be demoted.
Wait,
That's
he
great.
made a huge pun. He said that the drums were very bad in general.
Hey,
Nice.
nice, George Washington. He was on it. Apparently, Batman sang a song for Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
trying to swoon his lady, his boo.
So we can argue that we have a record of Batman singing and no record of George Washington singing. Therefore, Batman
You could.
has a history of singing. Therefore, Batman.
That's true. And I can also make the argument, and this is just pretty much the same Batman argument I make every single week. But Batman is a man who has tremendous discipline. He's learned how to be a martial artist. He's learned how to be a detective because he's very adamant in his pursuit. Singing is something that literally anyone can do. Everyone's got vocal cords. If you can train your vocal cords to react how you want them to react, you can become a better singer. And there's no reason why you can't. So Batman has the money, the resources, the time, and the dedication. Batman would be an amazing singer if he put his effort into it. Whereas George Washington, that dude's got wooden teeth. He can't even talk without whistling, much less sing a song. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna go with Batman.
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 Yeah, I mean, I saw which way this was going a little while ago. Just accepted my fate.
I'm sorry, man. That's the way Batman goes. It was me. It was totally me. It was me. Yes. I'm super okay with it. Well, everyone, thank you all for taking the time to do this episode. I mean, it was good. I mean, Batman reigns, as always. He's now a staple of our show and forever will be. We have to do this again. We should do this again. Maybe we should do a true crime episode, or maybe we should just do like a recap. We got to figure out what's going on with Frank at the end of this 6-month trial period for sure. Dang. Hashtag goals. Hopefully that happens. We'll have to see. Nice burp to end us out on. Well, everyone, thank you very much for tuning in, for listening, whether you're here live or later on. Next weekend, we'll have a stream for you. Of which game? I don't know yet. We'll find out. But Frank and I will be streaming something. But yeah, if you want to hit us up, you can reach us at davidandfrankandbeans@gmail.com. davidandfrankandbeans@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook. Kelly, why don't you tell them about your Twitch channel? Where can they find you at on the internet? Yeah. And Danny, I don't know if you want to plug yourself at all. What's your new solo project? You're coming out with something, right? You've changed your name. I saw that on Facebook. I'm just going to stop the broadcast right now. Ooh. Wow, a ton of stuff. Awesome. Well, thanks again, everyone. We Dappers, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.